Hey guys, welcome back to CLOWNFISH TV. This is Kneon, and I regret to inform you that the Nintendo Switch 2 is not doing very well. In fact, there's an article out on Reuters talking about how Nintendo's stock plummet drop can be attributed to the lack of excitement around the Switch 2. And this is coming from a guy who owns a Nintendo Switch 2. And it's looking like the Switch 2 might wind up going down the same route as the Wii U. Maybe. I mean, it's basically a slightly better version of hardware that everybody already owned. I'm going to be honest. I do have a Switch 2. My wife bought it about a month after they came out, and she's like, "Hey, do you want one of these? We can grab one." They had a couple at the local Walmart, and at first I was kind of like, I don't really see the point because the games that are out for it, the launch titles, I'm not really impressed with, and I don't want to pay to upgrade my games that I do have, because again, why? They play fine on the Switch as is. Like, oh my gosh, guys, I can see more of Link's hair in Breath of the Wild or whatever the hell, they added. But we did grab it because we thought, well, we can probably review games on it. And I'm going to be honest, there's nothing that's come out for the Switch 2 since its launch that is worth reviewing on the channel. We haven't even played it on the Clownfish Gaming channel. It really is like a Switch 1.5. It is like a Switch Pro. It's like a slightly better Switch, and we've already had the OLED version, and now's the part where all the Nintendo defenders start screeching in the comments. I'm sorry, I don't get it. I mean, eventually, I'm sure we'll get some really good games that justify buying a whole new Switch console eventually, but that time is not right now, right? And I'm sorry, the Mario Kart World is, I believe, underwhelming, and I don't give a shit about the Donkey Kong game. So it's like, for me, it's like, yeah, I don't really care. And actually, the games I did play on it, because I play a lot of 8 and 16-bit style sprite-based games. The couple of games I played on it actually looked worse. All the text was blurry and everything. I'm like, I'm not feeling this. I don't care if it upscales or not. Like, I'm not feeling this at all. So apparently, a lot of people are not feeling it. And look, this is just par for the course with this generation of consoles, where people aren't upgrading because things cost too much, and the price hikes that are coming. Now, some people are trying to blame the RAM for Nintendo's stock drop. I don't think that is all of it, but I mean, if we look at Christmas was a disaster for console sales. And I did a video earlier talking about Sony. Sony is basically begging people to buy a PS5. If you're a PS4 owner, they want you to upgrade. And they're saying now that there might not be a PS6 until like 2028, 2029. That's how bad things are right now with RAM. And if we have the AI bubble burst, which I think is going to happen, if it's not already beginning to happen, I would say within the next 6 to 8 months, we will start to feel it. And the chip crunch and the GPU crunch and all that. I think people are just waiting. And honestly, people are going back and they're playing retro games. I did a video the other day, which got a lot more views than I thought it was going to, showing you how to take a mini PC and turn it into a retro emulation station. And there are so many games, good games, that already exist that we literally could stop making new video games tomorrow. And I think people would have more than 10 lifetimes worth of games to choose from, to play, to beat, that they haven't played already. And a lot of those games are offline. Most of those games are offline, right? And that's another thing that's killing Nintendo is, the fact that you have to be online and you don't own your games. And even the cartridges you buy don't have the whole game on it. Can you imagine if they did that back in the 80s? Parents would have freaking rioted. But so far, the only people I'm seeing that are very, very impressed with the Nintendo Switch 2 are the Nintendo fanboys. And it's just like people are definitely brand champions or brand ambassadors. And there's a lot of the same mindset, I think, with Nintendo stuff that there is with Disney stuff. And I've noticed that the Xbox crew, those insufferable Xbox stands, whatever they call them, the X-heads or whatever the hell they call themselves, they've shut the hell up ever since it came out that the Xbox is failing. And it's undeniable at this point that the Xbox is failing. And I don't think Nintendo's failing. I think Nintendo is, again, the Disney of Japan, of the gaming industry. But I think the Switch 2 might be a misfire. I think it might have been rushed. I mean, you say rushed to market because it's been like freaking, 7 or 8 years since they introduced the first Switch, but I don't think it was enough of a technological leap to justify buying an entirely new console. That is my opinion. It just feels like a minor upgrade. So let's talk about this before we get into it any further. I'm already into it pretty far. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Hit the like button if you like this video. It does help us in the algorithm. Got to play the YouTube game, right? So, yeah, it's not just Nintendo, but Genki Japan has a tweet out there. Nintendo, Capcom, Konami, they all took a hit, and it could be contingent on the fact that, these are third parties for Nintendo. And just the video game industry in general is not looking like it's in a very good place right now. The mainstream video game industry, indies are doing fine, but like we're hearing about layoffs all the damn time. Now, people are saying chip shortages. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. This comes from Reuters, though. Reuters, not an alt-right rag. This is coming from Reuters. Nintendo shares slid 11% on Wednesday as investors fretted about momentum for its flagship Switch 2 gaming device. Again, the Nintendo defenders are trying to say, oh, people are worried about the price increases because of the RAM. Reuters, which is, believe it or not, one of the most respected news outlets in the world, they are saying investors are worried about the momentum for the Switch 2. The Kyoto-based gaming company on Tuesday reported robust sales for the Switch 2 during the year-end shopping season, though the system is viewed as lacking high-profile game titles to drive demand. That is 100% true. If you don't have a Switch, buy a Switch 2. Yeah, sure, go ahead. But if you've already got one, wait until they have games worth buying a whole new console for, in my opinion. The Super Mario Maker kept its annual net profit forecast at 350 billion yen, 2.24 billion, lower than an estimate of 406 billion yen from 27 analysts. Results are good with the Switch 2 breaking records, but not great. Jefferies analyst Atul Goyal wrote in a client note, investor enthusiasm over the prospects for a successor to the wildly popular Switch helped push shares to a record high last year, but they've been sliding since November. Yeah, so all console sales this fall were pretty bad. The only surprise was it the Next Playground, the Kinect little box, which I didn't even know existed until this fall, and it actually beat out the Xbox. And it's a toy basically, but lets you play games on screen. You can jump around, all that stuff like you could with the Xbox. And that thing sold like crazy this year. Early momentum for the Switch 2, which launched in June, is viewed as critical for building a user base to ensure the long-term strength of the system. The run is just starting and the platform is growing rapidly. I think we're looking, I could be wrong. And I could be wrong, but I think we might be looking at another Wii U situation, or at least a GameCube situation where it sells well. It's not an outright failure, but it definitely is lagging behind the previous generation. And the Wii U had a lot of missteps. We've purchased every Nintendo console ever since the very beginning. I've had every console, but we had a GameCube, we had a Wii U. The kids never played the Wii U. I'm going to be honest. They played Splatoon on it, and then into the closet it went. They just didn't care. And I didn't care, and I thought the touch screen was weird. I thought it was a weird thing. I didn't like it that much personally, but yeah, we had all these consoles, and I think Nintendo's stuff is great overall. I do like Nintendo stuff, but this generation, I think they've dropped the ball. I'm going to be honest, they have. Nintendo extended the life of the original Switch with blockbuster titles, including 2 major entries from the Zelda franchise. The new Switch 2 console is not selling as much software as the predecessor did. Amir and Vardazida of Asymmetric Advisors wrote in a note, well, yeah, there's not as much software. And a lot of what you can buy for the Switch 2 is just upgrades to Switch games. And if you've already got the Switch 1 version, if you really want slightly better graphics and want to drop another $10 or $20 on a game you already own, then sure. Roblox and Take-Two Interactive's Grand Theft Auto 6, which is due to launch in November, are also competing for the attention of gamers. November of which year? Investors are also concerned about what impact rising prices of, okay, here we go, memory chips will have on Nintendo's margins. The company said the price surge is not significant. Oh, here we go. The company said the price surge is not significantly impacting earnings this financial year, but could pressure profitability if high prices persist. Console profitability will decline further starting next fiscal year due to the ongoing surge in memory prices. So they're saying they think it's just a lack of interest. It's not the RAM necessarily. It could be next year could be a RAM problem for Nintendo. And apparently they bought a whole bunch of RAM ahead, and so did Sony. The issue is nobody gives a shit about the Switch 2 compared to the Switch 1. That's the issue. It's not enough of an upgrade. It's not like every generation should feel like a significant improvement over the previous generation. And we've gotten to a place where I don't think that's really feasible, especially given the price of the RAM and the components and all that. But you look at, the NES from the Super NES, massive leap. And the Super NES from the N64, that was a massive leap. And then the N64 to the GameCube, again, another massive leap. And then the Wii, it was effectively the GameCube with motion controls, but that added more to it, right? That was a totally different angle that they could play, and it became incredibly popular. And then the Wii U was just, the Wii with a touch screen pretty much, and whatever. And then the Switch came along. It changed it up again, right? So that's the thing. It's just consumers don't see the point. But yeah, watching everybody else. This is Pirate Nation has it too. Nintendo's share price drops almost 11% following its financial release. This person here, VizFX, says it all started with empty game cases, virtual game cards, overpriced peripheral crap, and the paywalled C button nobody asked for. The moment Devin Pritchard walked out on stage at the Game Awards and began virtue signaling, everybody knew. So let's talk about that angle too. I'll bring that up. I'll be that guy. There's a lot of concern about the new boss at Nintendo, that she is very focused on DEI initiatives, and we're already seeing some of it pop up in games. Now, here's the thing. She, I don't think, has been there long enough to really have any effect on these games, and these games were in development before, but there's a definite difference in the marketing of Tomodachi Life and what's going on here. So they have a non-binary option in Tomodachi Life, and the marketing is different too. I noticed that the marketing screen for it's got a bunch of basically activist looking people, so they're definitely trying to appeal to the Portland, California crowd, right? But here, this comes from Pink News. Nintendo fans rejoice as game adds some LGBTQ plus options, but right-wingers are fuming. Nintendo's upcoming game Tomodachi Life Living the Dream will allow players to form same-sex couples, as well as permitting the creation of non-binary and asexual characters. Tomodachi Life has non-binary options. Oh my God, they've gone woke. This is somebody who's, I think, actually on board with it. My jaw dropped. I feel seen. You can be asexual in Tomodachi Life. So there's two examples? You can pick their dating preferences. Previously, Nintendo said it didn't plan to add same-sex relationships to the game because it never intended to make any form of social commentary. However, following backlash to that comment, the game company released a statement that would strive to design a gameplay experience from the ground up that is more inclusive and better represents all players. Again, people have concerns about the new president of Nintendo. Now, I haven't seen this speech. I know people have been talking about it. Let's watch this real quick and see what it is she's saying. And could this be affecting the stock price? Could people be losing hope and confidence in Nintendo? All right. So this is Devin.
Hi, everyone. It is great to be here. My name is Devin. And before anything else, I want to celebrate the New York Game Awards. 15 years of supporting the games industry, and in doing so, lifting up the voices, stories, and dreams of so many. This show connects people.
Okay, so anytime somebody says, I want to lift up the stories and the voices, yeah, red flags kind of go up anymore, because you're like, certain voices, certain stories, that is what they call it, a dog whistle. That's usually a dog whistle that is going to be quote unquote woke, right? I'm just saying, we've been down this road before. Anytime you talk about elevating voices, making sure people are being seen, that is usually code for we're going to push DEI stuff and you're going to deal with it, or we're going to call you bigots.
who are united by a shared belief that every dream matters and that everyone deserves a chance to do meaningful and creative work in games and storytelling.
Is she like Tinkerbell or something? Like, every dream matters. Every fairy is real.
The Playing with Purpose program supports the creators, the coders, the writers, and anyone else dreaming big to join this community and bring all that makes them unique. I'm excited to meet you, to hear those stories, and to learn from your journeys. And remember, like any good video game character, you're on an adventure, and every step you take matters. There are some gnarly bosses, sure.
The alt-right chuds. The toxic male gamers.
But also many good friends along the way who will support you, and powerful rewards for those who persevere. So keep believing, keep playing, and know that you truly belong in this game.
Yeah. I mean, look, she's being vague enough, I think. There does tend to be, like I said, there does tend to be buzzwords, language that's used to hide the pill in the ice cream, hide the DEI, but gamers will catch a whiff of it. And if that's actually what's going on with Tomodachi Life, then did I say Tamagotchi Life? Okay, Tomodachi Life. If that's what's actually going on with Tomodachi Life, then Tamagotchi Life, I think they have that game too, I think, don't they? I like Tamagotchis. I used to murder my Tamagotchi just because I got tired of it beeping at me all the time. I just stick it in the sock drawer and let it drown in its own feces because I'm a horrible, horrible man. I'm a toxic male. Yeah, I get that people have concerns, obviously, and they're starting to see games now that are, pretty much a kind of a 180 from where Nintendo was even a couple of years ago, right? I mean, would that explain all the Japanese stocks dropping, all the company? Nah, not necessarily. But it is definitely something people are concerned about. So this is weird, though, because they said they weren't going to add same-sex relationships in March of 2025. This Tomodachi Life game will feature same-sex marriage. This is why. So they were talking about it before, but they said that they didn't want to get into politics. In 2014, they didn't want to get into politics. Okay. All right. But they got into it with, I remember that person that got canceled over the Space Buns, where they gave their female character the buns, basically the bun hairstyle in Animal Crossing, and they call them Space Buns. But then people were trying to cancel her because they said it was Astro Puffs or something. That's a black hairstyle. Nintendo's like, shut the hell up. But that was just a couple of years ago. So I don't know, guys. I don't know if that's affecting it at all. I think I'm gonna be real with you here. I think that normies are not aware of this stuff going on for the most part. I just think there's not a lot of excitement around anything that Nintendo's doing on the Switch 2. Now, I think the Mario movie is going to make a shit ton of money, 100%. I think that Universal is going to do really well with Nintendo, 100%. I think what's probably going to happen, if the woke stuff is going to creep into the Nintendo first-party products. Well, we saw with Metroid Prime 4, too, right? Metroid, yeah, let's be honest. But if that stuff is going to creep into their first-party products, then the general public will eventually take note of it, but it's going to take them a while. They're a little slow on the uptake. I just think it's mostly at this point, the Switch 2 doesn't have a lot of good games on it, being real, and money's tight, and the RAM issue, and people they're not going to spend money on a game console, right? And also the whole, digital shit that they have going on. You buy half a game, plug half a game into your console, get the other half of the game. It's like a lock-on technology. Switch 2 is a dumpster fire, says Pattern Recognition Unit 5000. It's the first Nintendo console I've not purchased since 85. Yeah, I wonder why. Yeah, this kind of shit's not helping their profile. Like, yeah, we're going to give you a new Metroid Prime game. Fantastic. We're going to marvel up this shit. And yeah. Didn't the first Switch outsell the DS? Yeah, it sold 150 million units. Why the hell did they dip? Yeah. So this Crypto Forge says it's common for stocks to plummet during financial release, but they bounce back. Also, their catalog for Switch 2 is very limited. They have failed to secure the big dogs. People will still posit the Switch 2 is one of the most successful consoles of all time, says Super Dungeon Robot. That is true. And I'm seeing it. Anytime we post a Nintendo video, we actually got dragged over on Reddit, which is not unusual for us because like 3/4 of Reddit hates us. The other quarter, they just keep their mouth shut because they don't want to get heat too. But like they were dragging another video I did on, and I was talking numbers. Like, look, Nintendo's stock is not doing well. The Switch 2 numbers are not doing well. And they were like, Clownfish TV are a bunch of bigot Nazi homophobes, and they just want poor old Nintendo to fail. I mean, it really, the only other company I've seen this kind of corporation I've seen standing for is Disney. And it's almost cult-like. I mean, even the Xbox, like I said, even the Xbox people shut the hell up. Because it's like they know it's over, right? They're just not saying anything. Oof, oh no, happens every financial release and people like me buy more shares at discount and it goes back up. Limit Break in Hero says, I called it last year, massive early sales from the hardcore crowd scrambling to grab one. Yes, this happens with Marvel too. This happens with Star Wars too. Followed by a slowdown once the fans were done and the steep price scared off everyone else. I don't know if the price is that, I mean, it's not horrible. It's not great, but it's not horrible. It's just not, I don't think there's enough going on with the Switch 2 to justify buying a new console yet. Because it's just more of the same. It's just a Switch with extra steps. I wouldn't call it a Switch 2. Like, it should be called the Switch Pro because it's not that much better than the original Switch to the average consumer, right? They're going to be like, oh, yeah, like I said, I can pay a little bit extra to get slightly better, Zelda. That, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just, yeah. It's like, oh my God, look, guys, the Switch 2 is on par with the PS4 now. It's a miracle. I'll buy Nintendo again when it ain't a handheld. Just give me a big gray box inspired by the SNES so I can play games competitively as a PlayStation or an Xbox. Yeah, well, that's not the audience they want. So we'll see what happens. I mean, the Switch 2 did sell better than a lot of the competitors this fall, but it's not selling as fast as they thought it was going to. I just don't think the average person sees much of a point. You know, I'm being honest here. And I'm old enough to remember all the outrage when the Super NES came out. People were pissed. Parents were pissed. There wasn't backwards compatibility. They were so pissed. And they were like, oh my God, guys, you got to buy Nintendo games all over again. And that was kind of an oof, I think, because I would have, if it were me, I would have, added backwards compatibility. But there was only one or two other consoles. Well, I know that the Sega did it with an adapter for the Master System. And, of course, the Atari 7800 ran 2600 games. But, yeah, they just assumed it was going to be, it's Super Nintendo, so it's going to play all the regular Nintendo, too. Nope. You got to buy all your games all over again. It was a good machine, though. It still sold a lot. Sold a lot of consoles. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up, guys. There we go. Nintendo fans can be angry. I don't give a shit. Whatever. Doesn't matter to me. I bought a Switch 2. You can't say I'm a hater. I bought one. I got every single Nintendo console. I still own every single Nintendo console. I'm pretty sure. Except for the GameCube. I think I got rid of the GameCube when we got the Wii because it played GameCube games. But every other one, I still have it. I still have it in my closet somewhere. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. Please subscribe. We'll talk later.